Hey guys, good morning, it's Kevin. Today we're going to talk about the SRRV. And for those of you who are not familiar, the SRRV is a retirement visa for foreign nationals that allows them to stay in the Philippines permanently without getting married to a Filipino citizen. If you check out my channel, I've made a video about the SRRV. I've talked about the requirements, the cost, the deposit, the different categories, almost everything. However, there are still things that are left unanswered. So today I'm going to talk about the 5 things that you must know about the SRRV. So stick around, grab a cup of coffee. Let's get down to business. Okay, number 1. The process is actually pretty straightforward. So if I'm going to explain it to you in a very simple manner, it's going to be basically like this. You gather all the requirements that you need, submit it to the PRA, wait for 1 to 2 months, and then you will be approved. After that, the PRA will send you a notification, maybe a text or an email. And once you get that notification, you will then proceed to the PRA, and then you're done. There's no probationary, there's no lining up for an ACRI card, none of that. Technically, the PRA is doing all the hard work for you. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because compared to other visas like the 13A, you're actually doing a lot of work. You get the requirements, you file the application, you pay for the fees, you do the fingerprints, you wait for 1 to 2 months or probably 3 months, and once you get the approval, you will submit your passport for the implementation. And after you get the implementation, you will then get your ACRI card, and it's not probably gonna be released as soon as your visa is done. So it's a separate process. And after a year, because you're only getting the probationary visa for 1 year, it's not yet a permanent visa. So next year, after getting the probationary visa, you will then apply for the permanent residency. So it's entirely the same, but without the fingerprint. Now imagine all the work that you will be doing compared to the SRRV. So probably that's why they call it the retirement visa, because applicants getting this visa does not need to do a lot of work compared to other visas. Number 2, the SRRV is actually an independent visa. This is one of the top reasons why expats get this SRRV, because they don't want to get their permanent visa tied up with a Filipino citizen. Now, compared to a 13A, it's a permanent visa but without the visa deposit. Like, there's no money in the bank being held up. The problem with the 13A, even you're married but you're separated, because it's very difficult to get an annulment in the Philippines, you must voluntarily downgrade your 13A. Even though you're not, like, your marriage is not yet canceled, but you're separated, but on paper you're still married, you need to voluntarily downgrade your 13A. But that's going to be a bit of a huge problem. Again, the SRV is an independent type of permanent visa in the Philippines. You don't need to get married here. Okay, number 3. There's no length of stay required, and visa required nationals can actually apply for the SRV. Let's talk about the first one. Even if it's your first day in the Philippines, as long as you are 50 years old and you have all the requirements with you, you can actually apply for the SRRV. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because some other countries that offers permanent residency to foreigners might actually require the applicants to stay in their country for a certain period of time. Now, for the SRV in the Philippines, no, it's not required. Even if it's your first day, as long as you are 50 years old and above, and if you have the requirements, you will be qualified. Now, the other thing, the SRV is also available to those visa required countries. Now, unlike the 13A, it's mostly available to non-visa required nationals. So as long as you're 50 years old and if you have the requirements, you can apply for the SRRV. Before I proceed with number 4, if you're actually interested in getting the SRRV, I've actually created a free ebook that you can download. You can see there the requirements, the cost that you need, the deposit, the step-by-step process, everything. Download it, it's for free, link in the description. Number 4, the SRRV visa deposit can be withdrawn. Now, a lot of people are thinking that when you apply for the SRRV, the deposit is gonna be like a payment, like you're not gonna see them anymore. You can actually withdraw the deposit. Now, you have only 3 options to do that. Number 1, of course, if you decide, let's say you get the SRV and after 10 years, you decide to go back to your home country. If you cancel your visa, you're gonna get the visa deposit back. Number 2 is converting your visa deposit into an active investment through a long-term lease of a house and lot. Now, the minimum lease requirement of a house and lot must at least be 25 years. Number 3, it's still a conversion of your visa deposit into an active investment, real estate, through a purchase of condominium. Now, the value of the property must at least be 50,000 USD. I mean, like, for example, here in Cebu, it's very rare that you can see new condominiums valued below that amount. Now, if you have an existing condo, that would still be fine. Now, if you choose the option number 2 or 3, you need to know that the government will put an annotation to your real estate title. So that means the property is exclusive to you. That means you cannot sell it or even rent it out. For the house and lot lease, I'm not sure how will they be able to monitor it because there's no official system that they will be able to check it. For the purchase of condominium, they will put an annotation to the title that you cannot sell it. Now, if you decide to sell it and you still have the SRV, you need to put the deposit back to the bank, and then they will remove the annotation, and then you can sell the property. It's a tedious process, but it's possible. And also, I'd like to mention, a fellow subscriber of ours actually sent me an email asking for a help in getting the SRRV. Of course, I said yes. Obviously, I don't charge any fee at all. We're just conversing via email. So he is still currently outside the Philippines, and I'm helping him prepare what are the things that he needs before he travels here. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to meet in person because he will be stationed or he will be staying in Manila and I'm here in Cebu. But anyway, I'm glad to help. If you need assistance, just reach out. Email is vin.philippines@gmail.com. Now, if you're here in Cebu, reach out. We can grab a cup of coffee and talk about the visa things that you may need. And number 5, the SRV is actually very easy to get. Because even if you're still outside the country or you're located in a remote area in the Philippines, you can actually communicate with the PRA directly and have someone assist you from start to finish. And you're not going to be passed over to anybody else who doesn't know your application. Now, it's very difficult for applicants to get a certain visa at the Bureau of Immigration because they need to travel there back and forth for almost anything that they need. If they need to ask a question, they need to go there in person. If they need to submit a lacking document, they need to go there in person. So it's a tedious process. It's possible, but it's tedious. For the SRV, no. Even if you're still outside the country, you can send the PRA an email and you can converse through there. And once you're in the Philippines, you can go to their office one time for the application to be filed. And if you have questions, you can actually send them an email. Now, if there's a lacking requirement, you can just actually send it through a local carrier like LBC. It's very common here. It's a registered mail in the Philippines. It's very safe. Now, the good thing about the PRA program, like the SRV, they actually have accredited marketers that will be able to help you for free. So it's not the PRA, but they have private agencies that does the stuff for free. Of course, it's a business, but the question is, how are they making money if they provide services for free? Now, the answer is they are being compensated by the PRA for every application they complete. Now, they don't get paid if they do not get your application done. It's a win-win situation. You can contact them by email, even if you're still outside the country or if you're here in the Philippines. They can help you out from start to finish and until you're done. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support. If you have questions, let me know in the comment section. If you want to send me an email, that would be vin.philippines@gmail.com. And also, you can download the free ebook that I made about the SRV. Link in the description. Like, share, subscribe, and see you on the next video. Peace.